It's enough to get through Christmas. Brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. You have to get another pen. No, no, no. We're done. 20 captains. Broncos, Patriots, 15 large, first place, 150 grand in the prize pool. I want it all. Portland Sutton, feed the Zeke. 90 minutes from kickoff. So let's get these fuckers in. Javonte Williams. I believe Bailey Zapp is still the starting quarterback. Jarrett Judy, who I actually have in one of my best ball lineups that's in round 2 of the playoffs right now. We need Jerry Judy to have the greatest game of his fucking life. Wow. Hunter Henry finally has a good game and he's out. Sucker. This game is a shit show. It's a who's who of nobodies. Broncos D. Will Lutz, who very well could be the optimal captain in a game like this. I don't understand. Why is it Broncos, the Chiefs Patriot game gets flexed out of Monday Night Football, but this game doesn't get flexed out of Sunday Night Football? Like we couldn't have made this like the Buccaneers and the Jaguars, maybe? Something? I got a feeling we're going to be running out of captains in this fucking game. However, money on the line. So we play it out. Someone's taking this fucking money home, and I prefer it to be myself. Samaji Piran. Look at this. Look at this. Possible captains. This is a shit show. But we shall treat it like every game worth big money. Marvin Mims Jr. There we go. And the Trout Man. Little Jordan Humphrey. New Dulcich, Jaleel McLaughlin. He could pop off in this game. Who's a good girl? Mike Kazicki. And Tyquan Thornton. Of our possible captains, of course, if we have the cheat code, Wilson, Sutton, Elliott, Javante, Bailey, Judy. Our top 6 cards are the $14,000 deficit. Do this right. New England. Denver. Let's do this shit. Russell Wilson completed 18 of 32 passes for 223 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions in Saturday's loss to the tight Lions. He added 7 rushes for 6 yards and an additional score while losing a fumble. Wilson had an ugly start to the game, completing only 4 of 10 passes for 69 yards in the first 2 quarters. He ended up with a decent fantasy performance thanks to garbage time, as the Broncos were down by 3 scores for nearly the entire second half. He started the effort with a 3-yard touchdown pass to little Jordan Humphrey early in the third quarter, then snuck into the end zone on a 1-yard rush midway through the fourth. Wilson has multiple touchdowns in each of his last 4 games, but this marked only the second time in that span that he's topped 200 passing yards. The Broncos will likely remain reliant on their run game, particularly in a Week 16 matchup against a weak Patriots offense. Or they didn't say the defense, they said offense. Little Jordan Humphrey is on the board. Cortland Sutton recorded 5 receptions on 6 targets for 71 yards in Saturday's loss to the Lions. Sutton has been productive primarily by reaching the end zone this season. While he failed to do so Saturday, he led the team in receptions and tallied 4 catches that went for double-digit gains. Sutton's performance marked the 4th time he's topped 70 yards this season, but only the 2nd time in 6 games since Denver's Week 9 bye. In this game, he's the man, I guess, right? Your dance card's full here. Ezekiel Elliott is expected to remain the Patriots' lead back for Sunday's game in Denver, with Ramondre Stevenson ruled out for a third consecutive contest. In his previous two turns as the New England starting running back in a Week 14 win over Pittsburgh and a Week 15 loss to Kansas City, Elliott carried 33 times for 93 yards and hauled in 12 of 14 targets for 93 yards and a touchdown. The game script will likely dictate the extent of Elliott's role on the ground. With his standing as the team's top passing down back while Stevenson is out of the lineup should give Elliott a decent floor, but the Patriots fall behind early in the game and are forced to abandon the run. Considering Stevenson didn't practice in any fashion this week, he can face an uphill battle to make it back for New England's Week 17 matchup with Buffalo. Let's drink because I got dry now. Javonte Williams rushed the ball 12 times for 27 yards in Saturday's loss to the Lions. He added 2 receptions on 2 targets for -7 yards. Williams led the backfield with 14 total touches, but it was still a disastrous performance. His longest rush of the day went for only 8 yards, while 8 of his carries went for 2 yards or fewer. Positively, Williams had at least 16 touches in 7 of his last 8 games, so he should carry a significant workload into a Week 16 matchup against New England. Disastrous performance. Yes, I know. I rostered him in every fucking lineup. Bailey Zapp completed 23 of 31 passes for 180 yards and a touchdown with an interception in Sunday's loss to Kansas City. The second-year quarterback was efficient but not very productive Sunday, and Zappe wasn't able to build on last week's 3-touchdown performance. His ability to move the ball in the air in the second half may have been hurt by the loss of his favorite option, tight end Hunter Henry, who Zapp had hit for a 16-yard touchdown in the second quarter prior to his exit. The Patriots have a real shot at landing the number 1 pick in the 2024 draft, but Zappe is playing for a job next season and isn't likely to let up. Week 16 against the Broncos. I like that. Jerry Jeudy recorded 3 receptions on 7 targets for 74 yards in Saturday's loss to the Lions. Jeudy posted his highest yardage since Week 3 and reached 70 yards for only the second time this season. He did the majority of his damage on a pair of catches that went for 40 and 19 yards, the first of which came on a long catch and run on the first offensive play of the game for the Broncos. Jeudy saw 7 targets to lead the team while also matching his season high. Nevertheless, this performance may be hard to replicate, as the Broncos would prefer to rely on their run game, and they'll likely be able to do so in a Week 16 battle against the Patriots. It'll also be worth monitoring Judy's practice status throughout the week, because he took a hard hit and spent time in the medical tent, though he was never given injury designation. Hmm. 7 targets, huh? They're telling you focus on the run game, which is why we got to focus on the passing game. We got to fucking play contrarian to the chalk. Old news. Who are we trying to get up to? Stevenson. Tim Patrick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a rough game to pick because it's going to be an ugly game. But it doesn't change the money on the line. Man can do a lot with that kind of scratch. Ugh. Philly Dorset. Man hurts. Michael Butt. Is that new news, old news, what news? No, I believe the Broncos played the Lions last. Keyshawn Vaughn signed with New England's practice squad Tuesday. Interesting. Vaughn will officially head to New England after being waived from Tampa Bay last week. The 2020 third-round pick carried the ball 24 times for 42 yards in 6 games this season and could serve as a depth option if Ramondre Stevenson continues to miss time. Interesting. Keyshawn Vaughn, huh? Possible $200 play. Keyshawn Boot. Inactive for Sunday's game against the old news. Matt Slater, old news. Guy looks like Brian Gumble. Trey Nixon. TJ Luther. Jalen Rieger. Nate Atkins, nothing. All this old fucking news. Tyler buddy, 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 baby, do. Kendrick Bourne. Born to be alive. Born to be alive. They say we're born. Matt Sokol, elevated from the practice squad ahead of Sunday night's game against the Broncos. With Hunter Henry out against Denver, Sokol gives the Patriots some added depth behind Mike Gesicki and Faro Brown. Sokol had 0 career catches in 5 games. Mike Gesicki on the board. Faro Brown on the board. Brandon Johnson, old news. Faro Brown at $600. That man is in play. Tight end 2 on a team throwing the fucking tight ends. No news, though. Old fucking news. Pisses me off. Upsets me. This is old news, right? 16th, which is 8 days ago. Fuck it, read it. The Broncos signed Kroll to the 53-man roster Saturday. Kroll had already been elevated to the practice squad 3 times this season, so it was necessary for Denver to sign him to the active roster in order to suit him up on Saturday. He caught the first pass of his NFL career last week against the Chargers, gaining 35 yards on the play. Kroll's spot on the team has arrived with Greg Dulcich on injured reserve, though Dulcich has been designated to return and could be back as soon as next week. All right, well, Dulcich is coming up. We'll see what happens. Dulcich is on the board. Should he play? We're looking for a sleeper, man. There's a lot of goddamn money here. Possible captain territory now. Tyquan Thornton on the field for 7 of a possible 53 snaps on offense in Sunday's loss to Kansas City. With Devontae Parker and Demario Douglas both back in action Sunday, along with Jalen Rieger logging 29 snaps, Thornton's role in the offense declined week 15. In the process, Thornton caught at least his lone target for the contest for 5 yards. The 2022 second rounder will remain off the fantasy radar unless injuries thin out New England's wide receiver core down the stretch. Parker, Douglas, Rieger. Of all fucking people. Is Rieger injured, though? Do I have to write down Rieger when his name comes up? Pretty sure it said he was out. No, the man's in play. What do you know? Mike Gesicki. Also on the field for 21 of a possible 53 snaps on offense. Caught one of his 2 targets for 7 yards in Sunday's loss to Kansas City. Gesicki's most modest production continued week 15, but it's possible that he and Faro Brown could see additional opportunities this coming weekend against the Broncos if a key knee issue causes fellow tight end Hunter Henry to miss time. In the event that Henry, who caught 7 passes for 66 yards and a touchdown versus the Chiefs, is unavailable week 16, Gesicki's role in New England's passing attack would likely increase, but he'd still profile as a fantasy dart, even in that contest. Faro Brown, that's 2 for Faro. You know I like Faro. Great name. All right. We shall see. I mean, he's at least worth a captain's chair. Jaleel McLaughlin carried the ball 2 times for 2 yards and secured 2 of 3 targets for 16 yards in Saturday's loss to the Lions. McLaughlin played just 8 of Denver's 64 offensive snaps in the contest behind starter Javonte Williams and primary backup Samaje Perine. With such limited usage, the rookie running back is far off the fantasy radar as anything more than an insurance policy if Williams or Perine were to miss time due to injury. McLaughlin will look to continue his role as a depth option out of the backfield when the Broncos host the Patriots week 16. Williams is on the board. And Perine is on the board. Jaleel. All right, Mr. Greg Dulcich. Ruled out for Sunday's game against the Patriots. Fuck off. Dulcich is yet to be activated from injured reserve after being designated to return from injured reserve December 13th. The Broncos have 21 days from that date to add the tight end back to the active roster. And Dulcich would have to miss the remainder of the season if he isn't activated during that window. Denver's injury report lists both the hamstring and foot injury for Dulcich, but the latter is believed to be the primary problem hindering his ability at the moment after the former led to his placement on IR to begin with. I think a little waddle of spit just flew out of my mouth. Dulcich. All right, no mentions of Troutman or any backup, so that shows you the amount of respect they have for that fucking position. Cross Dulcich off the list. Little Jordan Humphrey logged 38 of Broncos' 67 snaps on offense and hold his lone target for a 12-yard reception in Sunday's win. Fucking Chargers, really? Fucking old news. I hate old news. Adam Troutman caught one of three targets at 24 yards in Saturday's loss to the Lions. Troutman's modest performance Saturday came on a day when the entire Denver offense struggled to get much going. The veteran played just 47% of the Broncos' offensive snaps, his lowest snap share of the season. Meanwhile, fellow tight end Lucas Krull, who was signed to Denver's 53-man roster Saturday, played one fewer offensive snap. The 26-year-old Troutman has not been a major part of the Broncos' offense plans this season, and splitting playing time would just diminish his fantasy utility even further. In addition, it's possible Greg Dulcich could be nearing a return, further complicating the playing time situation. Troutman and the Broncos will host the Patriots in Week 16. So Krull, especially with Dulcich out, they're saying Krull's kind of stealing the job from Troutman. They're pretty much telling you that Troutman sucks a living penis. See, he was involved in that fucking Lions game. They're just not talking about him. It's a bit perturbing. Marvin Mims carried the ball once for 11 yards and failed to secure either of his two targets in Saturday's loss to the Lions. Mims was held without a catch for the fourth time this season as he continues to be used sparingly in Denver's offense. The rookie wideout played 26 of the Broncos' 64 offensive snaps Saturday, with little Jordan Humphrey handling number 3 receiver duties behind Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Mims' limited usage keeps him far off the fantasy radar for a Week 16 matchup with the Patriots. That's 2 for Humphrey. Sutton's on the board. Jeudy is on the board. Kevin Harris signed to the active roster from the practice squad Tuesday. Harris will join New England's active roster after spending the entire season on the practice squad. His only appearance this season, the 23-year-old carried the ball 4 times for 25 yards and a touchdown during last week's loss to the Chiefs. And he could continue to serve as the primary backup to Ezekiel Elliott if Ramondre Stevenson misses more time. Holy shit, did I fuck up and not read? No, because it was the... Fuck me. Primary backup to Ezekiel... I gotta read some of these guys again. Holy shit, I think I fucked up. I think I thought the Chiefs was old news. 1 second. How far up are we gone? We're not that far up. He'll join the active roster on the practice squad. Only appearance this season, the 23-year-old carried the ball 4 times, 25 yards, and a touchdown during last week's loss to the Chiefs. He can continue to serve as the backup to Elliott if he misses more time. All right, so Harris is the number 2. Sorry, we got to do this real quick. We read Keyshawn. We read Boot. Did we read Boot? Yeah, fuck. Okay. Inactive is before the game, so fuck him. I want what you did in the game. That's what it was. Sokol. Faro Brown. We might have skipped him by accident. Yeah, okay. Active against the Chiefs. That's before the game. I want results from the game. All right, so I think we're okay. Mims, Harris. All right, so we're up to Harris. Okay, good. You got to be careful, man. Everything you miss is another clue. Samaji Perine rushed 6 times for 37 yards and caught his lone target for 11 yards in Saturday's loss to the Lions. Perine operated as the primary backup to Javonte Williams on Saturday, playing 39% of the Broncos' offensive snaps while Williams handled a 48% snap share. The former Bengal was the more efficient back as Williams recorded 20 yards on 14 touches. Perine's slightly elevated usage in Week 15 was likely due to some game script, as the Broncos were playing from behind throughout the game. The veteran will be hard to trust for fantasy purposes, so as long as Williams can stay healthy. The Broncos host the Patriots Week 16. That's 2 for Williams. Patriots D. Chase, Chad Ryland, converted one of his two field goal attempts and both of his extra point tries in Sunday's loss to the Chiefs. Ryland has now missed 3 of his last 6 field goal tries, and the 41-yarder he hooked to the left in Week 15 was not particularly close. The rookie's struggles thus far, combined with the Patriots' offense lack of juice, make him a less than appealing option at kicker for the rest of the fantasy playoffs. Yeah, it's exactly why you got to run him now, because they're telling you that to bluff you, the bluff card. Devontae Parker caught all 5 of his targets for 44 yards in Sunday's loss to Kansas City. He had the Patriots' longest gain of the day, a 20-yard reception on the team's second possession that helped set up a field goal attempt for Chad Ryland that drifted wide left. If Parker has had trouble staying on the field this season, missing 4 games, including last week's win over the Steelers, and Sunday's 5 grabs was his highest total since Week 2. Veteran wideout is still looking for his first touchdown of 2023, but he could find it Week 16 against the Broncos defense, and just coughed up 5 touchdowns to Jared Goff. Broncos defense is on the board. Chad Ryland is now on the board. Will Lutz made his only field goal attempt while converting both of his extra point tries in Saturday's loss to the Lions. Lutz nailed his only field goal attempt from 23 yards late in the third quarter of Saturday's loss. The veteran kicker's opportunities were limited on a day that the Broncos struggled to get much going. Lutz has been perfect on kicks since Week 11, boasting an impressive 93% success rate on both field goals and extra points in 2023. The 29-year-old will look to be more involved while continuing his perfect streak when the Broncos host the Patriots in Week 16. You know what's driving me crazy? I have to read those 2 reports because my OCD is going off. My OCD has been triggered where I feel like I need to read those now because I'm missing something. Kayshon Boutte, inactive for Sunday's game against the Chiefs. Boutte has been managing a shoulder issue but didn't carry a Week 15 injury designation, so it appears as though he'll be a healthy scratch Sunday. With Juju Smith-Schuster also inactive, the Patriots' wide receiver duties versus Kansas City will be handled by Devontae Parker, Demario Douglas, Tyquan Thornton, and Jalen Reagor. That's 2 for Reagor. Juju is on the board. I'm not sure if he's playing. Parker is on the board. Douglas is on the board. Thornton is on the board. Well, hot diggity shit. Miss Faro Brown. I gotta read that. Faro Brown is active for Sunday's game against the Chiefs. Brown was a late addition to the Patriots injury report Saturday with a foot injury, though the issue doesn't appear serious enough to force him out of Sunday's contest. Brown has split time between backup tight end duties and special teams, and has caught all 8 of his targets for 174 yards and a touchdown over 13 games this season. Nothing. We learned nothing. Broncos D. Juju Smith-Schuster. Ruled out for Sunday's game against the Broncos. Smith-Schuster logged limited practices Wednesday and Thursday, but he didn't participate in any capacity Friday and will miss his 3rd game of the season as a result. In Smith-Schuster's absence, Devontae Parker and Demario Douglas are in line to lead the Patriots wide receiver core, with Jalen Reagor and Tyquan Thornton also being candidates to mix in. Douglas, Reagor, Parker, all 3s. It's almost like an asterisk. Tyquan Thornton, the 2. But Reagor, Jalen fucking Reagor popping up. Nathan Rourke claimed off waivers from the Jaguars on Monday. Just a couple of days after being waived by Jacksonville, Rourke has already found another opportunity in New England. He still hasn't made his regular season debut, but with the Patriots eliminated from playoff contention and looking for answers at the quarterback position, it would be a huge surprise to see him check in before season's end. Eesh. The Broncos elevated DiNucci from the practice squad Saturday ahead of Sunday night's game against the Patriots. DiNucci will provide insurance behind Russell Wilson and Jarrett Stidham for Denver, but he's unlikely to see the field against New England. DiNucci hasn't attempted a pass in the NFL since his 2020 season with the Cowboys. Wilson's on the board. And Jarrett Steedham. Could we see Jarrett Steedham in this game? Former Patriot Jarrett Steedham played the Broncos 4 final offensive snaps of Saturday's loss to the Lions, attempting no passes during his time on the field. Steedham handled the ball 4 times while taking the field for the Broncos' last possession in place of starter Russell Wilson, who was held out for the rest of the game's outcome was already decided. Up until exiting the contest, Wilson held every offensive snap this offseason, so Saturday's game marks Steedham's 2023 and Broncos debut. That's 2 for Wilson. Mac Jones, old news. Demario Douglas, who was on the field for 38 of a possible 53 snaps on offense in Sunday's loss to Kansas City, caught 3 of his 5 targets in the contest for 33 yards. In his return from a 2-game absence due to a concussion, Douglas slid back into a key role in the Patriots' offense, and that should remain the case with the 23 6-rounder over the final 3 weeks of the season. Douglas' fantasy upside during the stretch hinges on the performance of an inconsistent passing attack, but the rookie wideout should see a steady enough playing time and targets to merit attention in deeper PPR formats. Hunter Henry has been downgraded to out for Sunday night's game against the Broncos. After sitting out practice Wednesday and Thursday, Henry logged a limited session Friday before being deemed questionable by the Patriots. With Henry now unavailable to face Denver, Mike Gesicki and Faro Brown are slated to handle the team's tight end duties Sunday. And in that context, both players now profile as Week 16 fantasy darts in deeper formats. Gesicki and Brown. 2 for Gesicki, 3 for Brown. Ramondre Stevenson. Ruled out for Sunday's game against the Broncos. Stevenson didn't practice at all this week and is thus slated to miss his 3rd straight game Sunday. In his continued absence, Ezekiel Elliott will once again serve as New England's lead back. Stevenson's next chance to suit up will come December 31st against the Bills. Week 17. That's 2 for Zeke. This is sloppy as shit. All right, so what we got here? We got 2 for Gesicki, 3 for Faro Brown, 3 for Devonta Parker, 3 for Demario Douglas, 3 for Jalen Reagor, 2 for Elliott, 1 for Ryland, 1 for Juju's out, 2 for Thornton. You let all the 2s cancel each other out. That gets rid of Thornton, Gesicki, and Elliott. So you're fading Elliott because Elliott will be chalk. On the other side, we got little Jordan Humphrey twice, Javonte Williams twice, Broncos D, Samaje Perine, Lance Krull, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson twice, Jarrett Steedham. Something's telling me little Jordan Humphrey in this game. Douglas, Parker, Reagor for some reason. What does Reagor do? I keep talking about him. Screw it up. All right. So we got Russell up top here. We talked about Douglas, Parker, and Humphrey. Right off the bat, let's get those 3 in there. And Faro Brown, I like. I don't really like Gesicki. Gesicki, I'll throw in a captain's chair. But I feel like we're going to have plenty of cap. So right now, let's just get the guys we want to get in and fill it in from there. So, Douglas, Parker, Humphrey. Faro Brown. We got Elliott up top, so again, Douglas, Parker, Humphrey. Faro Brown. This could be some unprecedented shit right here, man. Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. Bailey's up top, along with Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. I mean, it feels weird because there's so much cap, but who's going to do shit in this fucking game, man? Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. I don't think we'll even have a $20 variant here. Brown. Douglas goes up top. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. There is so much salary cap. Of course, you take the kicker. Lutz, along with Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. I got Parker up top there. So Douglas. Humphrey. Brown. Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. Patriots D, of course, with Mr. Ryland, as well as Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. P. Ryan. Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. Kevin Harris, along with Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. Mims. Feel like he ceded his job to Humphrey. Troutman ain't getting a fucking job. Along with Douglas. Parker. Humphrey. Brown. Troutman, no, that's not happening. So here we'll give Russell his weapons. Give him Sutton. Give him Judy. Give him Krull. Give him Javante. This is a slaughter stack for Russell on this one. With Kevin Harris. Yeah, Harris will come in to spell with Thornton. Oh, Harris. That's a Russell slaughter stack right there, boy. So it's Humphrey and Humphrey. Oh yeah, it's already got Humphrey in here. Okay, so Humphrey can go here. McLaughlin, nah, I'm not feeling that. Gazicki, yeah, you gotta have Gazicki in there at least once. Which would be Douglas, Parker, Humphrey, but not Brown. No Gazicki. Thornton, No, I'm not feeling Thornton. But for $3, I'll throw in Rieger. I don't know. Nah, nah. So what we got open here? We got three open lineups here we can fuck with. Let's see what we got here. Get a puff. Essentially, you can put anybody you want here. Let's put the guy that's playing for his fucking job. Zap. We got 9,300, so we can upgrade from Pharaoh Brown. Javante Williams or Jerry Judy. We go to the run game here. We can get Russell in here one more time with Judy instead. So Russell, Judy, Zap, Douglas, Parker, and Humphrey. Bang. Right? Yes. You get Sutton. Sutton's out of reach. Hmm. Yeah, that's probably it for Russell Wilson lineups. He's got to bounce back first. Although you could run the $20 variant, which we might do after we're done here. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Now, of course, Sutton, a captain, you want his quarterback throwing to him. Then we're going to upgrade out of Pharaoh Brown. I say Broncos D. Broncos D are Lutz. Fuck me. Saying he's got a perfect fucking streak. How's he been doing? It's gonna be a low scoring game. I want to run with the fucking defense here. But if I got these two receivers in there, I'm counting on fucking Bailey Zapp just chucking the fucking ball here. I say we leave the cap on the table and stick with Pharaoh fucking Brown. If you're unsure, take the fucking wild card. And then you can run a variant with a kicker in there. Remember, $20 insurance policy. Again, Elliott up top. Want to throw Bailey Zapp in there. Now, again, you can substitute Pharaoh Brown for Sutton, which I don't mind because I don't see this being a fucking slaughter stack. Wilson or Sutton. Again, you run your variants. Javante Williams. Always give them their quarterback. That's where you get those catches into the end zone. Then you can get out of Pharaoh Brown for Ezekiel Elliott. So when we got Bailey Zapp up top. Have him throwing passes. They said he throws passes to his running back. Again, we come out of Brown for Sutton. Jerry Judy, of course, you want Russell throwing to him. Come out of Brown. No Sutton because already got Judy in there, so we'll take the Zeke. We'll run Javante in the variant. Douglas, of course, you want his quarterback throwing to him. You just get an endless amount of cash left here. Let's connect Russell to Humphrey. Double quarterbacks here, and again, we could drop Brown for Sutton. Broncos D, we already got the kicker in there, Will Lutz. So no Bailey Zapp in this lineup. We can come out of Faro Brown for Bailey Zapp. No, Russell Wilson. Come out of one of these receivers. Come out of Douglas and then use Parker in the variant. And we have Javonte Williams grinding it down. You just have this weird psychological fear to leave money on the table. It drives us crazy. Lutz. Give him his QB. Come out of Brown for Williams. Essentially, this is the risk we're taking is fading Elliott in a lot of these lineups. Saying Elliott will be chalk, we're going to go against him. Parker, give him Bailey Zapp, playing for his job. Humphrey, let's connect him over here with Wilson. Then we'll come out of Faro Brown in favor of Sutton. With Elliott as the $1 variant. Or Judy. 28 Lodge. If Ryland's the captain, we're going to try and bank on Patriots defense being in the mix here. We'll come out of Faro Brown for Bailey Zapp. And leave the rest of that money on the table. Yes. Patriots D, we got Ryland already in there. We come out of Faro Brown. We will not be getting Russell Wilson. So we will take Zapp. We need, like I said, we'll get rid of one of these guys here and then come in for the variant. Have Elliott grind it down. With the variant we run, we pull Douglas for Parker. P. Ryan. Is P. Ryan really worth? Yeah, look, the guy can get a bunch of receiving touchdowns. Give him his quarterback. Get rid of Russell. Double quarterback this shit up. Leave the rest of the cash on the table. All right. Kevin Harris. So no Zeke in this lineup. Give him his QB. Come out of Faro. Like I said, we'll just double guns the QBs. Little Jordan Humphrey. Essentially, this is double quarterback. Wilson, Zapp, come out of Faro Brown. Get you. I'd run Sutton here. Like I said, we're going to fade Zeke. Mike Gesicki. Quarterback. Essentially, it's double quarterback. You keep this. Leave the 13 on the table. We got two lineups left over. We're going to double defense both of these. Patriots, Broncos. This could be the game. Broncos, Patriots. Combo, just the kicker of the captain defense. Patriots coming with Elliott. What about Zapp? Zapp. And again, you run Douglas here and you run Parker underneath. Okay. Here we'll have Javonte Williams. We'll get Russell involved and Cortland. We come in on here. Perfect. Cha 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 cha. damn it. A bunch of fancy flies, huh? Just like that. 20 lineups in. Almost at the kickoff. Let's make sure nobody's out that we have in. Madison's playing. Lawrence still shaky. Tyreek still questionable. Here we go. Here we go. Who do we change here? This is going to be Sutton for Judy. Simple switch out. Oh, Judy's already there. Sutton for Zap. Williams, of course. Oh, God damn it. So now switch out. So we got Williams here. We'll keep Williams, switch out Zap. For Judy. That's interesting. Pull Faro Brown out of this particular one. And replace him with Kazicki. Bailey Zapp's going to his fucking tight end. Sutton out of this one. For Judy. Lay it out. Zap in. Sutton out. Judy in. We want Russell here. No. Stay with the receivers. Receivers are always lower owned. Judy here. Pull Elliott out for Williams. Switch the running back position. Sear again. Switch out Sutton for Judy. The Douglas for Parker shit, no? Yeah. Don't push your trap. Clark could be your lone savior. A lot of money you're leaving on the table. But you got to get used to it for this game. So we'll just change it to Humphrey. And grab Zap. Parker up top. So you come out of Douglas for this one. And we'll switch the position. Switch it over to Judy. 15 grand on the table here. Come out of Humphrey in this one. We'll go with Sutton. Again, here we'll come out of Humphrey. And we'll go with Sutton. Sutton. Some of these just kind of easy switch outs where we're taking Humphrey as our fucking long shot, but then we'll go Sutton as our chalk. Here, Humphrey's up top. So let's come out of Parker. So I'd like to get Williams. So that's what we'll do. We'll get rid of Douglas. And come down to Parker. Here again, we'll come out of Humphrey for Sutton. Come out of Ryland for this one. For Sutton. This one's a Sutton for Judy. Simple switch on that one. And finally, come out of Douglas. Keep Douglas. I say come out of Humphrey here for Krull. Krull's talking to me. All right, kids. 40 lineups. May fate and faith decide your fortune if you should win. Blow your money on the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Peace, love, war. Half hour to kick off.